Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. This is the Friday, January 12th program. I'm Mike Smith, along with Aaron Glandon. Dan Ramey is on assignment, and Dan will be joining Tom Beard and I on the Litter Media Radio Game of the Week down at Waverly's Downtown Gym. We'll tell you more about that coming up here a little bit later. I want to tell you about the weather because it is of concern for much of our area here today. A wind advisory is in effect. It starts at 11 a.m., so just in a few minutes, and that will go through 8 a.m. tomorrow. Now, the word on this is high winds and rain, steady winds out of the south at 20 to 30 miles per hour with wind gusts of up to 55 miles per hour expected. Some of the stronger winds, as you see, will probably be late in the afternoon, early evening before this rain system dies out a little bit. But that is what you can expect. Yeah, 55-mile-an-hour wind, that's enough to knock down some trees and possible power interruption. So just be on the lookout for that. Now, as far as the rest of the week, well, we'll have rain and a high today of 48. Rain will end, but temperatures will drop tomorrow. We'll be down in the 30s for a high for the weekend. And then next week, especially Tuesday and Wednesday in the overnight, we're talking about lows in the single digits and highs in the mid to upper teens. So I guess we, living in Ohio, should expect winter's finally going to arrive.
Yeah, sometime.
You can't luck out all year.
Right.
Can't luck out all year. But it's been, I think they were saying last night that every one of the 50 states in the United States had some type of weather alert of the various kinds that you could have, snowstorms to flooding to tornadoes. So I don't know if that's ever happened before, but it's rare if it is. A lot to talk about with our news topics today, what's coming up for the holiday weekend, as well as in a lot of local sports and some Reds news about some signings from yesterday evening. All that coming up here on the Friday edition of Litter Media Live. I want to tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. No, it's not too late. A lot of people still, with the great sunshine and close to 50-degree temperatures, taking advantage of that for some cleanup projects. I was walking out through the yard yesterday, noticing a lot of tree not limbs, but debris. And if you're out in a wooded area where maybe you've got a lot more of that, you might need a dumpster. Or if you've got a project that you're doing a fix-up around your property, these things are really handy. Give Carl Gerhardt a call, 253-8389. That's 253-8389 for a free estimate. News coming up.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Mike and Aaron back with you on the Friday edition. We alluded to the holiday weekend. This is going to be a 3-day weekend for many people because, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday is on Monday, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Something that's related to that in our show topics today, the Ross County NAACP will celebrate Jubilee Day and observe the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at 4 p.m. this Sunday at Quinn Chapel AME Church, which is at 181 West Main Street in Chillicothe. Now, Jubilee Day commemorates the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation by President Lincoln, which formally freed enslaved people in the United States as of January 1st, 1863. The speaker for this program on Sunday will be the Reverend Victor Davis, a pastor of Quinn Chapel AME Church. Many area government offices, business offices, the mail, banks, schools will be closed Monday, January 15th as a result of MLK Jr. Day observance. Certiport, the leading provider of performance-based IT certification exams, announces that Elise Schobelach, a sophomore from Union High School, is the second-place winner in the Microsoft Office Specialist Word category during the 2023 fall qualifier of the Ohio State Championship. So we're talking about the entire state of Ohio, that Elise is state runner-up. Congratulations. Impressive. And her brother was in the headlines last Friday, right?
Yeah.
For what?
Talented family. Basketball.
Well, what did he do?
Union of Basketball.
You were there.
He led the team in points.
Okay.
Stud.
All right. Congratulations to the Schobelach family. Join Appalachian Regional Commission on February 6th in Portsmouth for their Getting the Grant series. Getting the Grant 2024 has been designed to help prospective applicants understand funding requirements and prepare to submit successful applications for grants, many of them through the ARC funding opportunities. Join the Fayette County Ag Society for their annual Valentine's Day dance featuring Smokin' Ham Band. I have to tell you, I've not heard of these folks. That's coming up on February 10th at the Mayan Building at the Fayette County Fairgrounds in Washington Courthouse. Tickets are $12 in advance, but it says or at the door, but it doesn't say what the discount price.
It says tickets $12 in advance or at the, and then it says door opens at 6.
Okay, so I don't know whether you'll get it any cheaper at the door or not. Just be prepared. I guess if you want the advance ticket information, give them a call at 335-58.
You'd think it'd be a little more at the door.
Typically, that's the way it is. Yeah. Yes, but
you think there's going to be square dancing there?
You know, I really don't know. Smokin' Ham Band is the music.
It says real country music at the bottom.
Well, I would have to say you might have some line dancing. And have you ever been to anything like that?
No, me and my friends are actually planning on going line dancing at the end of the month, but never been before.
Do you got the cowboy boots and the whole regalia to go with that?
No, I was just going to dress normal.
What was the movie that came out years ago? Coyote something, and it was about the country dancing scene.
Couldn't tell you.
Coyote Ugly or something like that. Look it up when you get a chance.
Okay, I'll look it up during
You're
the ad
the movie
break.
guy. You're
I'll
supposed to know this.
Break.
Okay, sports coming up next on Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. Whether it's residential or commercial, Accurate can take care of these needs in all three of these categories. Check them out. That's Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Check them out at McDonald's, locations in Chillicothe, Circleville, Waverly, and Greenfield. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Urban Cowboy is the one that I was thinking. John Travolta from the 80s. It was kind of like a lot of music, dancing, but it wasn't a musical, but it was kind of like the country bar scene.
So it's the country version of Saturday Night Fever.
Maybe. Very well could be. To be honest with you, I never saw the movie, but anyway. Let's take a look at sports. High school basketball from last night. On the girls' front, there were a couple of MSL Buckeye games last night. The whole league didn't play, but Tays Valley was a winner over Liberty Union. Logan Elm beat Hamilton Township. A lot of noise last night was in the SOC 3. South Webster went overtime to beat Waverly 74-71. Skylar Zimmerman of South Webster had 39 points, including her 1,000th career point. And then Minford beat West 39-37 on a Maggie Reisner buzzer beater. Now, in the SOC 3, Wheelersburg and Minford are both tied for first place, which is exactly what the boys' SOC 3 standings are at this point. So just a little tidbit there. Let's look on the other side, OVC, TVC, the Shack, some non-conference games. You can find it all on our littermedia.com score page. Tonight's Litter Media Radio Game of the Week, going back to the SOC, only Division III tonight. South Webster at Waverly. The Jeeps won their first 9 games, and then they've lost their last 2. Both of those without their head coach, Norm Person, who's been in the hospital. Again, our thoughts and prayers with Norm, that speedy recovery. Waverly will come into the ball game with a conference record of 1-1, 0-2 for South Webster. But Tom Beard and I will be on the air somewhere around 7:15 or so. Leading up to that, we'll have the pre-game show, which, of course, airs live on Facebook each Thursday at noon. But we rewind that during the afternoon on Litter Media Radio. Staying with high school, this was something that came to our attention yesterday. The OHSAA Board of Directors, which held their regular scheduled January meeting yesterday, did approve a petition by Crooksville School District for Crooksville High School to leave the Southeast District and join the East District. Many times when schools do this, this is based on geography. It's closer for them in the tournaments to go east instead of coming down here in the southeast. But on the same note, the board also approved Ripley, Union, Lewis, Huntington, which is better known as just Ripley. They are leaving the Southwest District and joining the Southeast District. So while the Southeast loses Crooksville, they're going to pick up Ripley, and that starts in the fall of 2024. Again, more OHSAA news. The 2024 State Track Championships at Welcome Stadium in Dayton this spring will be over 3 days, not 2. The meet had to be moved to Dayton this year because they're doing some renovations on the Jesse Owens track up at Ohio State University. Welcome Stadium has only an 8-lane track, not 9. So that's going to back things up a little bit for preliminaries. So that is one of the reasons why it'll be a 3-day event this year, not just 2. Chillicothe boys and girls swim teams finished ahead of the competition at the Ross County YMCA earlier this week. Cav boys took 8 of the 11 varsity events, while the Chillicothe ladies finished first and 6, one more than Washington Courthouse. You can find all of those results on our website, story@littermedia.com. Not too early to start thinking baseball, because you realize we're just a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training. But yesterday, the Reds agreed to terms on 1-year contracts and avoided arbitrations with T.J. Antone, who's a right-hander, Jake Fraley, outfielder, Lucas Sims, also a right-handed pitcher, catcher Tyler Stevenson, and left-handed pitcher Alex Young. So those guys are all in the stable for the Reds again this coming season. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, they went over to Paris, France, or as they say, Paris, to play the Brooklyn Nets. The Cavs come out on top 111-102. That game was played at 2 o'clock our time yesterday afternoon.
What time is that for them?
Well, it would have probably been 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. So, I think it was just a one and done. The Cavs will make their way back. But NBA, like the NFL goes to England and plays, a game each year. So NBA getting in on that act only in France yesterday with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That is a look at sports. As far as, what happened yesterday, we told you about the Litter Media Radio Game of the Week. You're going where tonight?
I'm going to Vinton County.
Against?
Memphis, I think.
I think it would be probably Wellston.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, Minford's in a different league.
M and W, I get mixed up.
They're turned upside down. Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it's Wellston.
You're right.
TVC action. And Vinton County's in first place. I think Wellston is down in the standings as far as the pecking order. That matchup in years past has usually come down to the championship, but I think the Rockets have 3 conference losses, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Vinton County is either undefeated in the TVC or 1 loss. Dan had a grid on that, and it's in my stat bag at home, so I don't have it in front of me. So I'll try to see if I can find out some information on that. When we come back, this date in history takes us back to the year 1838. I don't think this guy is related to me, but he has the same last name. That's coming up next.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Sports now, we were just talking about Vinton County. I think they're 5-0 in the league. Wellston's 2-3 in the TVC. 1838, after his bank fails in the panic of 1837, Joseph Smith flees Kirtland, Ohio, to avoid arrest and heads to Missouri to rebuild his religious community. In March of 1830, do we have a picture of Joseph Smith?
Yes, we do.
Joseph Smith published 5,000 copies of a volume he called the Book of Mormon, which later becomes a religious sect better known for their activity in Utah, most specifically Salt Lake City, where their big cathedral is. The Mormons, of course, well known for their genealogy searches, some of the finest genealogy researching you'll find anywhere in the world. They have religious reasons for doing that. But yeah, Joseph Smith run out of Kirtland, Ohio on this date in 1838. Friday morning, we usually talk movies. You said you haven't been to the movies.
I have not. I have not been to the movies.
But you said you're looking at watching cartoons.
I've been watching a lot of Bugs Bunny recently. I saw one the other day that I was talking to Dan about it off air. They were at a party with a bunch of celebrities, but it was the 40s. Mm-hmm. So I didn't recognize any of them except Humphrey Bogart, who asked Elmer Fudd, the waiter, for a rabbit.
Yeah.
And Elmer was like, "We don't have rabbit." And Humphrey Bogart said, "You have 20 minutes to bring me rabbit."
Right.
And he threatens him with a Tommy gun, which I thought was really funny. Because I've seen Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca. Yeah. But all the other celebrities in that one I didn't get. And Dan said,
but he was referring to Baby, did he not?
He was.
You know who Baby is?
No.
Or was?
No.
That's Lauren Bacall, who's his wife. They got married, talking about the history in Ohio. Lauren Bacall, I think, first appeared with Humphrey Bogart in the movie It's the one that they are in Martinique. Walter Brennan's in it with them. I think she was like in her late teens. And they starred in some movies together. Well, they married, and I think it was at Malabar Farms in Ohio.
Really?
The guy that ran Malabar Farms was a very well-known person even out in Hollywood, and he invited him to come to Ohio, and that's where they got married.
That's funny.
But Baby referred to in that, and I think her character makes an appearance right at the end.
Because Bugs doesn't want to participate. He doesn't want to be eaten. Yeah. But then he finds out that Baby's there, and he's like, oh, never mind. That's okay.
It's kind of like a hubba at the end there, but that's Lauren Bacall. Some of the great Warner Brother cartoons, and even like Popeye, are cartoons that they don't even show anymore. And a lot of these were the propaganda cartoons they used during World War II. And the reason that many of them aren't shown on television anymore is because they're considered offensive.
Right.
Because they're making fun of the Japanese and of course, the Germans. I think the ones that Herman Goering is always in, he's real heavy. I mean, he was a heavy-set guy anyway, but they, 3 times heavier in the cartoon. And, of course, Hitler and Tojo and all those guys are made to look like idiots, Mussolini. For a reason, we're at war with these guys, and they're trying to make them look stupid. So,
do you have a favorite Looney Tunes cartoon? I really like Baseball Bugs. I think that's my favorite.
That's a good one. The one that he is in the movie theater trying to walk down the aisle in front of everybody where he's saying, pardon me, excuse me, and he does it like 2 or 3 times, and as he's walking in front of him, people are throwing their popcorn in the air because he's basically stepping on them as he walks by.
Is that a Yosemite Sam one?
It could be. In fact, I think it was on just the other day. Another one that was pretty good. It was a gangster, the little short fella with the real tall gangster hat. Bugsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good too. But
I like the ones where he races Cecil Turtle.
Yeah, that's which is based on the tortoise and the hare. Yeah, some great cartoons. I don't think kids today, do they even show cartoons on Saturday morning anymore?
I don't know.
But I mean, that's what we grew up on.
Yeah, a lot of them have aged really great, and some of them, like the one I watched the other day, haven't, because I just didn't get any of it.
Yeah, well, and as you pointed out, a lot of those cartoons had celebrity figures in them that the adult audience would understand, but it was put together so that kids would think it's funny too.
Right, because and especially some of the celebrities have become stereotypes of celebrities now. And so you see it, and even though you don't recall a certain person, you're thinking of just like a 1930s celebrity. Yeah. So it's still funny because it's a caricature that you've seen.
Yeah. I think there was another one of the cartoons, and this might have been during World War II, I'm not sure, where they went, it was like rabbit season, duck season, back and forth.
Yeah.
And then there was one similar to that where I think Bugs goes to Washington because, it's rabbit season. He says, I guess this means war.
Yeah.
And he goes to Congress, and some really, really funny cartoons. But it's hard to find a lot of those. You say you're finding some of them online?
Yeah, I just look up the name of it, and I click on the first result and watch it.
Have you ever seen this? Pardon me. This was just in the news either early this week or it was last week, that the copyright on
Mickey Mouse.
I mean, the original Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie,
which was, I think it was the 30s.
Actually, I think it was 1928.
Really?
Yes. Wow. Walt Disney. The however many years, well, I think it was it 75? Somewhere between 75 and 100-year limitation. And the concern was that people might use some of these iconic cartoon figures in nefarious ways.
Well, yeah, this happened to Winnie the Pooh a couple years ago, And then immediately there was a Winnie the Pooh horror movie that came out.
Like a slasher movie.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was clear that they did it just to capitalize on him being public domain and didn't actually put effort into it.
Yeah. So even all of your artistic work after so many years, apparently you lose the rights to it.
Well, when you're dead and gone, you lose the rights.
Yeah. And Walt Disney is obviously dead and gone. So, yeah.
Or is he?
What's the old saying that they froze him?
They froze his head, and it's underneath Disney World or Disneyland. I don't remember.
They said the same thing about the Hall of Fame baseball player Ted Williams. What did it call it? Cryogenic or something like that?
The theory is that Disney released the movie Frozen so that when you look up Disney Frozen, you don't get Walt Disney's The Conspiracy Theory.
Oh, see, you're too young, but I can remember Sunday night, NBC had The Wonderful World of Disney. And they would show like cartoons once in a while. They'd show a movie, but Walt Disney himself would be on there. Mm-hmm. And then when he passed away, his brother, and I can't remember what his brother's first name was, he took over for Walt to MC that program each Sunday night. So some good times. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. Despite the federal holiday, Dan and Aaron will be back here on Monday. I'm off because of the ball games tonight, but Lord willing, we'll be back with you on Tuesday. So enjoy your holiday. Again, keep an eye on this wind advisory that's now in effect through 8 a.m. tomorrow morning with possible 55-mile-per-hour gust and some heavy rain. So be careful if you're doing some traveling out there. I'll let you say goodbye for yourself.
For Aaron Glandon, goodbye.
And for Mike Smith and Dan Ramey, we'll see you at the ball game tonight on Litter Media Radio, South Webster at Waverly. See you then.